Right over here to my right here. But if you poll vouchers, for some reason, I can be right up front with you, it's had a negative connotation over the years. No, they're not vouchers, they're education scholarships. They're education scholarships, okay? As Frank Lunt says, words matter. And so that's one thing we as conservatives aren't as good at. We let the liberals dictate what bills are called and what issues are called, and then of course they have an ally for the most part in the press that just picks up on that and runs with it. But at the same time, these are education scholarships, not vouchers. Yes, ma'am.
Your comments indicate in the accomplishments, it does matter who governs.
It does matter who governs. So a wise man said that one time. That was me.
I was smiling as I saw on the news where Governor Perry of Texas hopped over to California and said, "Come on down." Yeah. After listening to you, maybe you need to hop over.
I'm all for it. For those of you who don't know, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
okay. I was actually Governor Perry's statewide chairman when he ran for president. Yes. He and I are very good friends. We've known each other for a long time. We have a lot more in common than just our boots, okay? He's one of the coolest guys that just tells it like it is. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious that he called it his hunting trip. When he went to California and said, businesses, come on to Texas. We don't have a state income tax. We don't have a corporate income tax. We write down a list. And I saw on one of those news stories that 60,000 businesses have moved from California to Texas. I saw the Texas Lieutenant Governor, ironically enough. I don't know him. He's a Democrat, and I don't know him. But he's been interviewed on one of the Good Morning Americas or one of those shows, and he was just livid about this. They created their own situation. That's all I've got to say. So I like that hunting trip. I don't know if you all know this, but we had a fundraiser for Governor Perry out at Willis Johnson's house here in Davidson County. It used to be Alan Jackson's house out there. We were out there. This was the night after the famous debate when he's going to do away with 3 departments. And so we got out there that night. Governor Perry ended up not being able to come. And so I was there with Bobby Jindal. We got in a crowd of 300 or 400 people. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you this, but Governor Perry's not going to be here tonight. And he goes, well, everybody, I said, well, he had 2 choices. He could be here with 300 or 400 people that are for him. We already know that. You contributed money, and thank you. Or he could be on the David Letterman show in front of 7 million people. So I think he made the right choice. The good news is, tonight, you usually have to hear a whole bunch of political speeches. I said, tonight, you only have to hear 3 speeches. I said, I'm going to be speaking. Governor Jindal's going to be speaking. I can't remember the third one. But Bob's going to laugh about it. I was going to laugh about it. I know he did. And that was my response the night after that debate. So anyway, well, all of us have done that one time or another. We just hadn't done it in front of 50 million people. Bad time.
Well, I just want to congratulate you and make sure everybody knows that you were appointed to the Board of Trustees of GoPac?
I am.
So that your skills in recruiting and training candidates, running campaigns, and running a legislative body are going to be expanded nationwide by virtue of that.
Well,
I'm just very proud.
I'm on the board of directors of the National Conference of State Legislators. They've had a reputation in the past of being a pretty liberal group. We're turning that around slowly but surely. Not even slowly but surely, we're turning around rapidly, if you all know the honest truth. I'm on the executive director of the Lieutenant Governors Association, so let me assure you Tennessee is well represented. And in GoPac, and in case you don't know this, maybe you've seen that because at my urging, they're going to have their annual convention this year in Nashville. And that is a group, if you all don't know, I guess most of you do. It started early, but really Newt Gingrich is the one that took it to the next level back in 1994 when the Republicans gained their majority, and GoPac was the reason that I think that we were able to do that at that time. They're now they're more into training and career recruitment of candidates too. So they do a fantastic job across the state recruiting, especially House members, U.S. House members, but also U.S. Senators. They've done a much better job on the House side, I'll say that. But, I wish they did a little better on the Senate side. We'd have a majority in the Senate too. That's something I could talk about all day. Anyway, yes, ma'am.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on the safety law that's going through the Senate and the House. It seems like it's moving much faster than it did last year, and what your thoughts are on
I don't have much opinion on that. I'm just kidding, okay? For those, the safe commute law. Let me walk you through where we are right now, okay? In 1997, I carried the bill that allowed for handgun carry permits by law-abiding citizens in the state of Tennessee. It was my bill. I was a freshman in the state Senate. It still holds the record to this day, not counting the budget, for the most amendments that have been filed to the bill. I came on the floor that day like 54 amendments. The liberal news media, you would have thought the world was coming to an end. We can't trust ordinary citizens to have a firearm. Well, even they do have the training. Well, they'll end up having shootouts at stop signs, and they'll fight over a loaf of bread in the grocery store and kill each other. And we now have 371,000 people like me, like my wife, like my 3 daughters, that have a gun carry permit here in the state of Tennessee and have an impeccable record. I mean, you literally, I said this in the governor's race, you can take those 371,000 people, if the whole 6.5 million people in the state of Tennessee were that responsible, we could literally shut down our prisons. That's how good it is. Fewer, 2 or 3 little instances here, but it's like 0.2%. So, now like last year, actually NRA came with a bill that was brought even for me, Mr. Second Amendment in the state legislature, that would allow anybody to carry their firearm in their car wherever they went. Even it had some less restrictions than that. Even I said, this is going way too far. We want to make sure that people are trained. We want to make sure that people have gone through the background checks, that have that class, that day-long class, that have their fingerprints on the file with the FBI, and on and on and on. The things you have to do. Pay the state of Tennessee $150 to carry a plastic card in your back pocket. But that's who we want, not everybody. But I think that would give everybody a bad name. So we held the bill up last year. And most of y'all know the NRA wasn't real happy about that. It asked Deborah Macker. And so it was not a pretty sight. And I actually had one of the NRA lobbyists in my office at one time, and I said, look, I'm not for it. There is no way we can pass this wide open bill. This needs to be limited to just gun carry permit holders. And I literally had, ladies and gentlemen, the NRA lobbyist sitting in my office when I said this has to be limited to gun carry permit holders. He sat there and said, well, I guess we can allow that.
Oh.
I said, you can allow that. And he said, well, what I mean is we won't fight it. And I said, no, I think that's exactly what you meant. I said, if it was anybody else right now, I know the guy personally, you'd be out of here on your ear right now. And so we held that up last year. Now, so over the summer and this fall, and I've led the charge on this, that's no secret, because I do think that the people do have the right. If you are a single mom that decides you want to take a class at Northeast State in my district, and you go to the trouble and the background checks and everything else to get your gun carry permit, and you go to Northeast State, you drive through a bad neighborhood going back home or whatever, or just going in your house alone at night, and you feel like you need that protection, you should have that right. And you struggle with property rights here. You do, but I'm a huge property rights person. Now, I own my real estate business. I own the building. I pay the property taxes. That's the reason, honestly, folks, I was never for outlawing smoking in restaurants. The man owns the restaurant. He pays the property taxes. It's his. If you don't like it, don't eat there. It's his building. But that's for all of us on that. So, but on this one, it's kind of 2 different things. In my real estate office, for example, they shouldn't be able to come into my building unless I give them permission. I'll be able to post the building. I'll be able to do anything I want to. But if they want to list an auction and they happen to have a gun carry permit, they drive my parking lot, leave it locked in their car, and then back out and leave, I don't have a problem with that. And that's what we've compromised on with this bill. If you're a gun carry permit holder, this is not about guns in parking lots. This is about guns in cars, okay? I actually had one of the lobbyists from one of the universities here in the state of Tennessee, I'll leave out his name, y'all maybe figure out who it is. He came in and he said, I want to talk about your guns in parking lots bill. And I said, do what? He said, your guns in parking lots bill. And I said, I don't know. Oh, you're talking about guns in cars. We don't want guns in parking lots. You got to let them out in the parking lots? Well, that's wrong. We shouldn't do that. That's how ridiculous this is sometimes. And so the bill that we passed will allow a law-abiding citizen, a gun carry permit holder, to keep a firearm locked in their car wherever they are, and give some liability immunity to the businesses. I think it's a great compromise. We passed the Senate Monday night with this bill. I've talked to Beth about this today, and it'll be in one of her committees today. I think that's right. My staff is nodding yes. So it'll be passing through. So we have taken it from anybody and everybody, no holds barred, to down to just the 4.7% of the people actually have a gun carry permit. This doesn't apply to 95.3% of the people in the state, that they have gone to this trouble. Because let's think this through. What have people been doing? Breaking the law. The law-abiding citizen breaking the law. If you didn't, if you go to a business and I had it posted, or go to work even, and they had it posted, what do? Lay it outside on the ditch, pick it up when you come back out? That's not even practical. Not even practical. So I think this is a reasonable compromise. I think that we'll see it pass the House, and I'll be right up front with you. People ask me, why are you in such a hurry? I've not made any secret about this. I wanted to get this done, get it behind us, and talk about jobs and education. But let me assure you, the press will not let you talk about anything else as long as that bill's out there. And so we passed it through our first committee. We passed it, it has gone as fast as it could possibly get to the third reading and final passage, and we're done. So I don't want everyone to talk about it again, Mr. Press, when you come in and talk about here, don't just say that in general. You're Miss Press. We're not talking about we're done. So again, you can see I get pretty fired up about this because it's been misrepresented in the press of what it actually does, the guns and parking lots, but now they start calling it guns and trunks, I guess, or whatever. But the bottom line is, you will not see any problem out of this, and I think we're trying to balance the property rights issue because the U.S. Supreme Court has said that they hold the same rights of search and seizure to your automobile as they do to your home. It's yours, okay? And so I think we've come to a good compromise. But thanks for asking me that. I wasn't even going to bring it up. I really wanted. It's such a distracting issue, and so when somebody asks me, it takes me 15 minutes to explain it like I just did, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Would you please address judiciary lines, the redraw?
Absolutely. Since the last time, we went through redistricting, of course, in the state Senate, and that's one reason Steve Dickerson's here, let's just be honest about that. But we drew them fairly, and we drew them honestly. By the way, our Senate redistricting plan that we drew was challenged in court. And about 2 weeks ago, in the history of our state, this is the first redistricting plan that was ever upheld in court. So I think that proves that we were fair, and we did it logically, and I like to think we un-gerrymandered the state when you look at what was done before. So every 10 years, the legislature is required to go through redistricting. The judiciary, the judges, don't have to do that. I think it's somewhat ironic that they said we have to be one man, one vote, but they don't. I mean, the county commissioners are one man, one vote. The school boards are one man, one vote, but for some reason, the judiciary is just above that. And so what I'm wanting to do is look at the state again. Back when it was done in 1984, it was definitely a politically drawn map. You can look at it and tell who the powerful people were in the legislature. Just southeast of here, Coffee County, 36,000 people, is its own district. Warren and Van Buren County, its own district. Shelby Reinhart was the powerful state representative at that time. Northwest Tennessee, with Ned McGord was speaker, there were 2 or 3 real small districts up there. So we need to look at this holistically across the state to make sure that we're spending your taxpayer dollars wisely and make sure that we're drawing districts that make sense. Very controversial again. Let me assure you, I think I've heard from about 2/3 of the judges and DAs in this state by now, because they like it the way it is. Of course they do. Of course they do. They don't want it changed. But the last time it was done was 1984. Rutherford County had 82,000 people. It now has 270,000 people, and it's grouped in with other counties. Williamson County, just south of here, at that time had in the 70s, I can't remember exactly, it now has 178,000 people, and it's in with Lewis, Humphreys, and Hickman, 3 small counties. It makes no sense. So we're going to look at this, a holistic approach. What I'd like to do is have every county over 100,000 become its own judicial district, and then group the like-minded, like-minded, I guess you could say, counties across the state and redo this. Judges don't like it. I had a judge in my office the other day, and he said, gosh, no, they're wringing their hands and said, no, the judiciary is a little different from the legislature. Said, if we redraw these districts, we may have judges that have to run against each other. Yeah. That's the way it works. We may have judges that after redistricting don't have a district to run in. Yep. That's the way it works. Well, what we do it differently. What we do, we say another district needs another judge, we just put another judge in that district. I said, kind of like the old Fortero districts, and Linda will remember this, before Baker versus Carr. That's what we did in the legislature. If Sullivan County needed another state rep, we just gave them one. But that's been ruled unconstitutional too. So what's the difference there? But it is almost comical to watch. I want to do this right, do it logically. But we're going to. I'd like to have fewer judicial districts. We have 31 now. I'd like to take it to 30 or 29 again to take those same resources and allocate them differently. And this is something people ask me, why are you even doing this? Because I'm getting beat up from Bristol to Memphis over this because it's the right thing to do. Because if we don't do it this year, by the way, Of course, the judicial elections are every 8 years, all the DAs and all the PDs and the judges, so that's next year, 2014. So we have to draw the districts this year and allocate, work on it over the summer and allocate them next year how many goes in each one. Because if we don't do it this year, the next time it's up is 2022. And that'll be a time when we're going through legislative redistricting, and I've been through that once. Be careful what you ask for, and you don't want to add judges on top of 9 congressmen, 99 House members, and 33 senators. It won't be done then. And so that kicks it out another 8 years. So 2020, it would be 46 years between redistricting, and that's the reason this is the year to do it. That's it. And I'm going to about have to go. What we one more, Tim? Oh, Tim's the last one. Oh, never mind. I got to have to go. Go ahead.
We'll just make that easier for you and go, why don't you match up the same number of judicial districts and state senate districts? You've got a map that's already been passed and approved. What would be the harm in using the approved state senate map as your model?
The only downside of that, I'm not saying we couldn't end up there, because just yesterday I had a press conference and asked all the judges' organizations, or several of those, the district attorneys conference, the public defenders conference, bring their own plan. It's better if you keep counties whole. That's one thing that I'm saying, because that's the way chancellors, there are certain judges, chancellors, I guess, are elected just in the no, not chancellor, I'm thinking of circuit here, no. There's a judge who's just elected by county. So when you get into Davidson County, well, let's go to Shelby County. There are 5 senators in Shelby County. Do you really want 5 judicial districts in the same county? Now think of this through. There may be a reason to say, yeah, we want 5 judicial districts in every county, but I don't think it works as well. So that's the reason I think you need to keep counties whole and don't split them up across the state, but put them together in a manner that seems logical. I want to say thank you. I do have to get back. I enjoy doing stuff like this, getting to talk to you directly.